Anyway, we went after Enron. We were the guys who went after Enron. And if you see the movie on Enron, you'll see me, as chairman, giving the oath to those Enron executives. All of our witnesses are under oath. In front of that committee, we got broad jurisdiction. We can investigate anything. One of the things we've investigated is this offshore tax havens. And during the Enron thing, what we discovered is that Enron had something, if I'm trying to remember what it was, I think 150 shell corporations in one office in the Caymans. They set up 150 corporations, paper corporations, whose only purpose is to avoid paying taxes and to create an impression of economic activity. That's really what this is all about, when there is no economic activity in the Caymans. So, was that a signal from back there? There's time to... All right, let me just try. One more who hasn't had a shot at me, yeah.
We don't have to leave the shores of our country to realize that the corporations are putting it to us as far as, like, even with the credit card situation where the people are paying their bills and they're still raising the rates. The same thing with the housing market. From your perspective, is there any controls coming up to where we're really going to kick their butts?
Yeah, the credit card issue that you mentioned is another example of where my permanent subcommittee on investigations had hearings. We called the banks in front of us and really laid it out. I mean, some of them actually changed some of their policies a couple days before they showed up. Some of them canceled the interest rate hikes on the witnesses who came before. They're not even embarrassed when they do this. You know, you'd think they'd be embarrassed, but they're not. At any rate, and the same thing is true in the housing area. We haven't gotten involved in this. But let me talk about credit card. This permanent subcommittee on investigations is not a legislative committee. What we have is oversight power. We can bring people in front of us if we have jurisdiction to look into any aspect of governmental activity we want. We're not limited to banking or to defense or to housing or whatever. We can look into anything, which is the source of our power, plus the power to issue subpoenas. The chairman, I can issue subpoenas anytime I want. I don't have to get permission of the full committee. I don't have to get the other side to agree. But in the credit card area, Chris Dodd, and it's true of the housing area as well, Chris Dodd, who is chairman of the Banking and Housing Committee, is introducing bills. He already has in the credit card area that will go after one of the abuses particularly. And that was the abuse that you made reference to, where even though you have a credit card, say, with a particular company, that you pay on time. You're not behind. And this is the case that we brought in front of us of a woman who had always paid her bills on time, never paid less than the minimum, frequently more than the minimum. And then all of a sudden her interest rates were tripled. And she couldn't even find out why. She called up, couldn't find out why. And it turned out that the only explanation is that for that, I mean, they'll raise your rates without any explanation a lot. But this is they raised it by like 300%, from like 9% to 24%, something like that. The only reason that anyone could figure out was that her credit rating had gone down because she had gotten another credit card from someplace, I think like Macy's, that said, if you'll take out a credit card with us, you get a 25% discount on all the things you'll buy with us for 3 months. She took out that credit card. She paid that credit card on time. But the fact that she had another credit card caused her credit rating from some credit rating entity to go down, which then resulted in her own credit card company suddenly saying, you're a bigger credit risk, we're tripling your interest rate. And that is something which is called universal default. It's a weird name, I don't understand where it comes from. But when they do that, they obviously, to me, are violating just an understanding, which is if you take out a credit card and pay it on time, whatever the deal is on your interest rate, the relation to the prime rate or whatever it is should be kept. Chris Dodd's bill will take care of that. We have a number of other abuses that we have in our bill. We have a bill on that. And on the housing area, there is a new bill that has just been introduced by our majority leader, Harry Reid, which also will go through Chris Dodd's committee, which we hope will reduce significantly the number of foreclosures. I got a runner. I'm going to be foreclosed by my wife. We're supposed to meet somewhere, I think, in Ann Arbor in a half an hour. Another cup of tea for me? Did I introduce another? I think I did.